about seeing like the sickness creep into a game when things are going well. Is a game like last night the perfect maybe way for it to happen when you saw it in the first couple periods, but it didn't hurt you the way it hurt you?
Yeah, you never want to get sick, but you have to have a pretty good immune system to recover from it. And I thought we had that in the third, but we were. I used the term red rotten. We were red rotten in the first two. A lot of uncharacteristic situations in plays for our group, at least so far this year. When that starts creeping into your game, you've got to get it out as quick as you can. We were fortunate, but there's still some concern that it lingers. I'd like to think that our guys can clean it up and be prepared to play a better game tomorrow.
Is it a mental thing to see that direct style of play from the third start right from the puck drop in Montreal?
Well, we've talked about it lately. Some of our games, last two or three, have actually been approached that way by our group. Where early in the year we had our foot on the gas right away. We've been in the feel-out process and then get after it. So I'd like to see us get back to what we were doing earlier and attacking. But you know, perfection in the NHL doesn't exist. It's a long year. You've got some ups and downs, and you have to be patient but push. And that's what we're doing right now.
It'll be a pretty special evening for your team tomorrow night if you win. Have you addressed that, or do you need to? The players are aware of it?
Yeah, we haven't at all talked about it as a group. I'm sure the players are aware of it, but quite frankly, we don't. We're proud of our record to this point, but we take every game as its own entity. We're not talking about win streaks or anything like that. And over and above a win or a loss tomorrow, we've got some things to clean up, as I mentioned earlier. So expect that to happen and see where it takes us.
What has your organization seen in Phil Deneau that he is scoring a little more effectively that maybe the Canadians did not see?
Well, I can't speak on behalf of what the Canadians saw in him. I just know from his time with us, we've tried to put him in situations where we count on him to score. And we don't necessarily demand it from him, but we expect it from him. And with that, his defensive responsibilities cannot diminish. And he's been able to accept that challenge. He's playing with some really good players that certainly help him. He's got some power play time. As you're well aware, he's pretty good in the face-off circle, so there's situations or opportunities there for him to score. But his offense has been it's been very welcome for our team.
What's the difference with the Quinton Byfield from this year versus the Quinton Byfield of his first season in the NHL?
Well, he's 3 years older. And that might sound very simple, but he is. And big players, Leon Draisaitl in Edmonton, those big players that got to carry around those big bodies, it takes a little bit longer. The scooters, the guys with real good engines, not that Q doesn't have that, but they tend to blossom a little bit quicker. He went on the wing. He knew he was going to play consistently up there. We gave him a long look. And he also has two real good line mates. Physically stronger than he was in his first few years. And knock on wood, he's been able to stay healthy, which is a big part of it.
Coach, after Pierre-Luc Dubois' trade, hockey people said that could be the piece that the Kings miss to go further. What do you think about Pierre-Luc's game? Is he fit well? Is he reach the expectation?
Well, PL is a real important piece in our group. He's been able to be around our team now for 3 months, I guess. I think he's adapted well. He's picked up the uniqueness in our group of how we want to do things. And he's been a very effective player when he uses his size and he's driving. What's been hard for PL is he's had to give up some stuff. And what do I mean by that? We have 3 or 4 pretty good centermen, and everybody's had to give up 2 or 3 minutes just to make sure we're a 4-line team. So in the past, where he's played 18, 19, 20 minutes a night, now he's playing 15, 16 minutes a night. But Anse Kopitar, Phil Deneau, Blake Lizotte have all given up. And that can be a hard thing. But I think he's handled it really well, and the group has experienced some success with him involved, and he's been a big part of it.
Is it right to say that probably last year Vegas pushed the Kings to improve themselves and be better?
Well, they did that to 31 other teams. When you hold that big silver trophy up at the end of the year, everybody's trying to catch you, and everybody in the league kind of takes a look at what they did and how they did it. Doesn't mean it's the right way, but last year it sure was. And we felt we needed to change a few things and upgrade in certain areas, and PL was part of that.
About Byfield, would you say he's playing the way you thought he would play when you drafted him?
Well, keep in mind, I'm coaching, so I don't have a lot to do with the draft, and I hear things. I'm told things by our staff and our amateur scouts, but again, I think if you take the size factor coming out of junior, you get away with a lot. You're just bigger, you're stronger, you bully people around, and he had that going for him. Now you come and play against men, and maybe you're not quite ready for that. It takes a little while, so he's met expectations now. It's been a series of patient moments for him and us. But he's a real good study in that alone, where you got to take your time with some of these players, and not everybody's Connor McDavid on day one.
You've been coaching in Edmonton. You know that patience is not the greatest quality in the Canadian market. Slavkovsky is also a big, strong forward. When you look at him, can you see a younger version, maybe of a Quinton Byfield?
And again, we've only seen him play the one game live. I thought he was a real effective player in that game, especially as the game wore on, his size and strength. You don't go number one by accident, but it's a very tough adjustment, especially in Canada. You look at this group, and Quinton didn't have this in Los Angeles. He just doesn't. But Leon and Connor had it in Edmonton, and there's a lot of scrutiny, sometimes fair, sometimes unfair. I don't know the young man personally. I don't know his makeup, but I'm sure if he continues to work at his craft and gets the help that I know their staff will provide him, he's going to be a hell of a player.
You had Cam Talbot in Edmonton. Not sure how averse you are in the technical aspects of the goalie position.
Not very good.
But what do you see in how has he changed or evolved as a goalie? Is it in terms of his preparation, his puck tracking? Do you see a difference there?
I see the Cam Talbot that we had in a real good year in Edmonton. I think he played 70 games that year and was a big factor in us getting to the playoffs first time in a long time and winning a round. I see that in him. He's rejuvenated a little bit. He's youthful, and I think a lot of that has to do with his health. And he feels real good about himself. I think he fits our team here real well right now. We try and make things predictable as much as we can, and it benefits him.
What do you think of Jordan Spence at his first season playing on a regular basis?
He hasn't been a surprise, but he's been a real good addition to our team. The combination of Eglin and Spence have been a real good pair for us, more than we thought we were going to get, and they complement each other well. His vision, his mobility, runs the second power play unit, become very confident, but he's earned all of that. He's put a lot of time. We talk about patience and patience with players. He's earned all that, and he's been a good player.
Your system also requires patience. Everybody was talking about the 1-3-1 in the other locker room. Just if it was easy, every team would use it, and they would have success also. So why do you guys are able to execute it at such a high level and have success with the
Well, we are into year 5. I look at the Rangers right now. I think they're on top of the league. They got the most points. They're using the system as well, and it's not something you can just throw out there in a game. You've got to really work on it. It's part of our identity. It's what we do. Some people agree with it. Some people don't. Our group has no problem using it, and they enjoy playing it.
Having a guy like Kopitar, does it help to sell it, the 1-3-1, be disciplined in the system to other players? Having a guy like that.
Well, in any system, you can talk about the 1-3-1. You can talk about a two-man forecheck. You face-off plays, power play. If your top dogs aren't buying it, if there's even a sliver of doubt, you probably have very little chance of making it stick. And real good players can find things that are wrong with systems and with tactics. It's our job as coaches to show them what could be right with it, convince them that it can work, and then give them an opportunity to have success with it. And I think as a staff, we have to take a look at what we have and how we could best maximize our players. We didn't play this in Edmonton. We didn't have Connor and Leon doing what we do, but Anse Kopitar and Drew Doughty and a number of other players fit this well. So we tried to implement what we thought would complement the group that we had coming in. And again, it's something we do. It's something we rely on.
Thank you, Todd.
Yeah, you determine your system based on the players that you have, but there's at which point do you start? Let's say which management will start looking for players that fit your system, and at what point, as a coach, as the players change, you say, well, I have to change my system because it's not the same players anymore.
Well, it's funny because there's multiple systems in a game. There's the forge, there's neutral zone, there's transition, there's power play, there's penalty kill, there's face-offs, there's 4-on-4 play, there's 3-on. I can keep going on and on and on. Back check and sort out and track, and there's multiple systems. Most of the focus on our team is obviously what you guys are bringing up and talking about, but we play a bevy of different types of situations. And if we singularly pick players for one part of it, we're going to make a lot of mistakes in the other parts. So we don't, as a staff or as an organization, say, hey, we need this. We have really good scouts, as every team in the league does. They look for talent. They look for strengths and weaknesses. And then when they come in, we try and maximize those.